a lot of stuff has happened to you over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh my God.
Good and bad.
It's a roller coaster. My therapist said there's enough to write a novel in the last 2 years alone.
Your therapist is like, well, he's going to keep coming back. There's just so much going on.
We were boyfriend and girlfriend. We were basically living together, and then all of a sudden the health debacle hit, and it was something we had known about could happen at any point, but it hit us like a train. And my childhood was amazing. My health didn't affect me, but for my mum that was such a different story.
In a way, she was probably protecting you.
Also, now being a parent yourself, you can kind of understand
Yeah.
what that would have been like for her.
My C-section was scheduled. We were walking around Harrods with Sam's aunt, and I was like, something feels weird. I
Why
couldn't
did
walk.
most stories about our health start with, we were walking around Harrods?
Yeah. Pretty much all of them, yeah.
But I the Made in Chelsea, Lauren.
I'm feeling a lot of pressure, and Sam's aunt was like,
What if you're going into labour now?
she was like, sit on the floor in Chanel, hopefully they'll give you a free bag.
I love that that's where her mind went.
We've only realised recently in the last few weeks, I would say, I'm suffering at the moment with postnatal or postpartum depression. I don't know if I have the capacity to actually deal with that right now, because I'm already struggling day to day, just looking after Duke. I'm like, I don't want to open a can of worms of emotions on top of that. I'll look into the future and I don't see me in the picture. I see Duke with Sam and I don't see where I slot into it.
Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Happy Mum. Today's guests, there's not one but two. It's Sam and Alice Vanderpump. They are obviously from Made in Chelsea. Having had this conversation with these two, I have to say, I don't think we've ever had a couple in the podcast, in the studio, that feel quite so connected and in tune and giving to each other. There's just this beautiful energy between them that is so encouraging, and just the support they give each other means that they open up in a way that is just so endearing and lovely and supported. Sam encourages Alice to talk about where she's at right now with her mental health. Really early in the conversation, actually, she talks about her experience of postnatal depression that she is currently living through, which I feel is really vulnerable and brave, and it's going to help a lot of people. I think the more we talk about it, the more the stigma is diminished. It goes away. It's no longer a taboo subject. Let's talk about how we're feeling, and it's only in doing so can we help more women who are feeling that way and ultimately save lives. They're delightful. So just enjoy this chat with Sam and Alice.
Oh my God, I came into the shower once and Alice was not just singing, she was dancing, but
I wasn't dancing,
No,
I was
it
just
was a small
vibing.
shower as well. We got two showers and one big shower, and she was in the smaller shower, but thrusting of hips is what
I was not
you were
thrusting my
your
hips.
It's the same chorus line over and over again. Beauty
Sorry
and the
for
Beast,
being in a good mood.
Justin Bieber, Beauty and the Beast.
And I only know two lines, so I was just repeating the same two lines.
And I can hear it from the lounge, so I sort of if she wasn't naked, I would have filmed it. And I would have put it on social media.
But that's, not just singing, but dancing in the shower is not talked about enough.
No, it wasn't dancing, it was thrusting.
It was not thrusting. It was not
I
thrusting.
swear to God,
Says
thrusting
he
of the
opera
hips.
sings from the kitchen. He'll just break out into opera song.
Yeah, but I'm good.
No, you're not.
Do we have a little competition?
No.
Sing off.
Oh my God.
How are you both feeling? Are you rested?
No.
No. How
No.
is the sleep, Alice?
It's okay. It's definitely better than it was. Duke's only waking once a night now.
Yeah.
But even then, I think I have so much anxiety in the night. I wake up probably at least 7 times just to check he's
Really?
alive. Yeah.
Is he sleeping next to you?
He sleeps,
Still.
in his own crib, but at the end of our bed.
Yeah. So are you literally waking up and just checking his...
I will literally wake up out of a nightmare and I'm like, I sit up and I'm panicking and I have to check his pulse, check his breathing. Yeah. You
I think
don't
we
get off
both
to
do
sleep,
that.
do you? But
No, I don't fall asleep till
once you are asleep, there's no
2,
waking
3
you up
a.m. Yeah, but I could sleep through, honestly, someone could come into the house, brutally murder Alice and Duke, and I would wake up 5 hours afterwards. Honestly, once I'm asleep, there is no waking me. It's scary.
Really?
I think we need to get a doctor around to it's like I've been drugged on by an anaesthetist.
So are you two not, because me and Tom don't go to bed at the same time. Do you two go to bed at the same time but you just stay there awake, or are you just like, no, I'm going up at 2?
No,
It really depends.
I try to go to bed at the same time as you because I want to get into an early routine so I can get up early in the morning, get on with my day, but I just end up sitting there lying in bed, and then I get so bored, then I end up on my phone, then I end up doing business plans, coming up with 4 new businesses I'm going to start.
We'll start by watching a film. I'll be asleep within like 10 minutes, and then he's like 3 films later still in bed.
Watched the full trilogy. Taken was the other day.
And then obviously.
Yeah.
What was it? What are we watching? House of Dragon. And then he's watched like basically a whole series without me. And I'm like, so what's the rundown? And he's like, well, I'm not going to fill you in on this many. You should be watching it. I'm like, I'm asleep. It's your fault for watching it without me.
Yeah.
So if you're not going to bed till that late, how has having a baby played around with that?
So we thought at the beginning that this was going to work perfectly to our advantage.
Yeah.
I was going to be up at the night. Alice was going to be up in the morning. And we were like, we've got this on lock. We're going to be absolutely fine. And then
We were so wrong.
baby
Yeah.
Duke came along and we both just didn't sleep. So it wasn't like, oh, all of a sudden we can take it in turns. We just both didn't end up sleeping. I don't know how we became so tired, but in that first, I think 3 weeks, we were, it was like torture.
Everyone
we were so
says
sleep deprived.
sleep when the baby sleeps, but it just doesn't work like that.
No.
Like I would get into bed at 7, hoping that I would be asleep, and I would be awake all night for weeks on end.
I think I always laugh because it's like a cycle, right? Of what happens as the days go along. The first few days, when you first meet your baby, it's like, oh my God, I want this euphoric feeling 10 times over. I want to do this again and again. We're both on cloud 9. She's still high on the drugs. You know, we're like, let's have another 9 now. And then the next few weeks hit, and I think we both looked at each other like, never again.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
you can't do it. The sleep deprivation was like a form of torture. And then we've gone into the next stage, which is, yes, okay, we want more children, but we'll wait a few years.
Yeah, I do want more, but I'm like dealing with 9 months of pregnancy again. That was hard enough. I can't do that right now. Definitely not.
How old is you?
Duke is 4.5 months, so
I
he's
think
20
you're
weeks.
right. There's no rush, guys.
Yeah.
If you're still able to say the weeks, I think you're okay.
Yeah.
There's no need to
Actually,
rush.
I think we said 19 weeks for the last 3 weeks, didn't we?
Yeah, we
So
get
he may or may not be 20 weeks. I don't know.
somewhere around the 5
Yeah.
month mark. Yeah.
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 And what time is he waking up? That one wake
He's
up?
a bit jet lagged actually because we went to America. So he wasn't waking up until like 11 a.m., 12 in the afternoon.
I'm sorry, your listeners are going to be like, sorry, what baby is jet lagged? How has a baby got jet lag? And
It was so
genuinely
strange
has
though.
got
Like
jet
when he
lag.
came back, he was sleeping like basically through the night and then would sleep until he would have like one feed and then sleep all the way until like 11.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's definitely jet lagged.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's like his dad.
Yeah.
Guys, what were your childhoods like, and were they very different to each other's?
Ooh. I don't know. We both have trauma, I'm sure.
No, my childhood was fantastic. In regards to my mum is an absolute saint, and anyone who ever meets her just always comments on how sweet she is, and how she'll do anything for her children. So, if you want a mum and you want a mum role model, she is that. So she really is amazing. My dad had his difficulties, but I had a good relationship with him at times. We did a lot together, and my dad didn't say I love you, but he, did a lot for me to show that he loved me. So I think I had a great childhood. Obviously, it wasn't perfect. There were hiccups. My dad's situation was hard, but I think I was quite lucky for my childhood. I mean, I raced all around the world in go-karts. I did when that sport ended, I went and joined a theatre school.
Right.
I did anything I ever wanted to do. I was very fortunate, very privileged, very lucky. So,
And you've got a brother as well?
yeah. That was hard because he was this absolute model student.
Right.
Straight A star, head boy, went to Cambridge.
Is he older as well?
3 years older.
Oh.
He wasn't, too extroverted. So, growing up, he was responsible. And I was just the one that was doing everything wrong.
You are so different.
I got
even
kicked
to this
out of
day.
a school, maybe 2. I can't really remember. I wasn't that good at I was good at my academics, but I didn't apply myself, and I could have
Right.
done so much better. So yeah, it was a great childhood, but it was hard at times. Everyone's childhood is going to
And
be
in
hard.
Camden, is that right?
Oh, well, I was born in Camden,
Ah.
grew up in St John's Wood, but then moved out to around North London sort of way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Alice, what was yours like?
Not that exciting. Not compared to yours, no. I would say on the whole I had a great childhood as well, but I had an illness called chronic fatigue syndrome, which basically meant that my immune system was very low. I was tired a lot of the time.
Yeah.
So I spent about 3 years out of school, really, because I was
How old were you?
too ill to go. I had it originally in primary school, so I must have been in year 5, but that was a mild version. And then when I was in year 8, so I must have been 13 or 14, I got the worst version, and I was off school basically until I joined again in year 10, year 11.
Oh.
Yeah, so I definitely didn't have the experiences Sam had growing up.
That must have been so strange as well. It's like seeing all your friends going off and doing things, or just knowing that they're together all the time.
Well, yeah, I think because it ended up being that long, I ended up losing friendships because my mum would be worried about me going to sleepovers, because then I would overdo it and then I would have a crash. So I'd probably be ill for 2 weeks after that. So I was very limited in what I could do. I didn't really see many friends during that time. And then I had to rebuild friendships once I came back to school, really. And
Yeah.
then it was scary coming back to school because I was like, oh, I don't have any friends.
Also, that period of when you left and when you joined, you're a proper teenager by that point, not just
Yeah.
a new teenager. You're there's so much going on that it must be really daunting to re-enter that space.
It was strange. Yeah, it was a very strange time. I remember the first few weeks I would walk around at lunchtime, not actually have anyone to sit with. So I'd go to the library or go to the toilet. Yeah.
Oh, that's really sad. I
Yeah.
can cry.
It was sad.
Oh, I was also sick as a child. I mean, my parents were fantastic in not letting that affect my childhood, as I previously mentioned. But I was also sick. I was also hardly at school because I was racing and I was in hospital.
When you were younger, did you ever look to your future and kind of go, I'd quite like a family of my own one day?
I feel like I was so caught up in what was right in front of me
Yeah.
that I didn't really ever have time to process what my future would look like because I was so distracted with what was going on right in front of me.
With being on Made in Chelsea as well, I would imagine that your focus is it's not in this other world that maybe doesn't exist within the show. Your focus is very much, I would imagine, on those storylines in that show.
For me, the show was a time of life, and it was about having fun and enjoying it. And
Sam was single, and then I came along.
And it wasn't just about being single. I'd gone to theatre school. I'd loved the camera. I'd done podcasts, which, in the past around business. I'd done loads of stuff around camera. I'd been in theatre productions. I'd done adverts. My family are on reality TV. So I was like, this is going to be fun. And that was
But
it.
that's probably a really nice way of going into it,
Yeah.
because I think there's so many different reality shows now where people go in expecting something, expecting that other layer. That's a really nice and freeing way of doing a show like that. As long as you are united and don't go, let's not get sucked into the drama.
I like what the show does for us because it really is our lives. It's
Yeah.
followed us getting engaged, getting married, having Duke. And I think to look back on in the future, that's going to be such a core memory for us to have recorded, basically.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I felt like we were very aligned. And I was like, wow, this is really what it's supposed to feel like, which was a weird feeling.
And I think, so much nowadays, people are encouraged for, whatever works for them. I would never impose on other people on how to do things. It's whatever works for you in your situation. But there's this feel of way more casual dating nowadays. And I think we just had the respect for each other from day one that we were going to give each other's full attention.
Well,
And-
also your health must have really been made things very intentional as well. You know, take away, like, let's be really intentional about what we're doing here and what we mean to each other.
I think it definitely magnified things, but previous to my health suddenly falling off a cliff, Alice had practically moved in with me, so we'd gone on these dates. We were dating, we were boyfriend and girlfriend, and we were basically living together. And then all of a sudden, the health debacle hit, and it was something we had known about could happen at any point, in the future. But it hit us like a train, and I always say us. I'm very inclusive, and everyone joined my health journey. But when I say us and we, because I feel like Alice, my mum, my gran, my aunt, my brother, they're all on the journey with me.
I've got to say that really does come across in the documentary as well. It feels very much like it's not just a you, and actually it's also because when you first got your diagnosis and everything, you're a child, right? So the weight of the reality of that would have been carried by your parents.
Yeah.
So your mum can't suddenly be excluded from that experience, because she has had to carry the weight of that. And I imagine for her, there's probably almost a guilt of now you being the one that has to carry it, when she probably felt much stronger being able to carry it.
It's
herself.
funny, as you relay it back to me, I get shivers down my spine about the documentary, because I think, and this was such an amazing thing about doing that documentary, was I think we all started to understand each other's journeys more. And this is why I'm such an advocate for reality TV and these documentaries.
You have to actually sit down and talk, otherwise there's no show.
There are conversations that probably wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for that.
Well, the Vanderpump family trait and gene is we don't talk about things. We come from a very old-fashioned British family, so we wouldn't have these intense conversations. So reality TV, the documentary, it really put a spotlight, and at times we were like to the producers, they wanted us to have conversations, and we would like, no, we can't, we don't have those conversations. I look back on it now and I go, thank God we did this documentary. Thank God we had the producers around, because it helped us all get through it as a family unit. And it really made me understand, because as I mentioned to you previously, my childhood was amazing. My health didn't affect me. But for my mum, that was such a different story. And I don't think I ever understood that growing up. And I still don't really understand it today. So
in a way, she was probably protecting you.
Yeah, of course.
She didn't want your illness to define your life growing up, I don't think.
100%.
Also, now being a parent yourself, you can kind of understand what that would have been like for her.
Yeah. I mean, God forbid, anything was, Duke was to be diagnosed with anything tomorrow, and we'd be told that he would need some kind of transplant. I can only imagine at some point in the future, maybe not, who knows, but you'd hope, you just have to protect him, because I guess I'll do exactly what my mum did. Distract me up until the point where, he can do anything he ever wants. His health's never going to limit him if I can stop that. And then when that time comes, hopefully I can be there to help him. And I think that's what was so hard for my mum, was, going along this journey, was obviously in the documentary she finds out, and in our real world situation, she finds out that she couldn't be the one to be a live donor, which I know she'd always thought she was going to be in the back of her head. Yeah. So that was a really hard blow for her.
Because ultimately, you just want to be able to fix your child, right? If anything happens to Duke, you want to be the one that you want to have the answers. And for her, she would have always had that thing of wanting to be the little piece that can heal you. And so to not have that must have been really, really difficult.
Yeah, I think it was really hard for her. I think over 20 years she's had that in her mind. Yeah. That she could be the one to help.
And also getting that diagnosis over 20 years ago, like technology would have been very, very different. Yeah. The people that, in terms of case studies or being able to see people that had gone through it, there would be less than there are now. Everyone's a bit more visible now. So she would have felt very much out on her limb in that way. So to carry that, it's amazing now that the world feels like a much smaller place. So there are people that you can reach out to that have gone through the same things as you.
Yeah. And it's so interesting that we talk about this, and but there's still some regards today where you go, we know talking about things makes things easier and it helps, but it's still your kind of inside character which still holds you back from wanting to talk, and it's getting out to actually talk about things. I mean, I think you're struggling with things right now, and it's I keep having to have conversations with Alice about research says if we talk about things that you will feel better afterwards, and it feels shit when you talk about it, but when you come out the other side you look back and you go, oh yeah, that did help. And I think it's really hard with people like us because we're quite logical thinkers, and I think we're quite mathematical.
Me right now. Oh my gosh, emotionally I'm.
But I think normally we're like mathematical, so 1 + 1 = 2. So if we can't get an exact answer for why we're feeling this way, then we find it quite pointless to talk about it.
Or I feel like it just opens a can of worms. Like, I've been very emotionally volatile at the moment, and Sam's like really been encouraging me to talk, and I think it is helping. But then it's like opening this big can of worms of emotions, and why do I feel like this, and will I ever feel better? And it's like, I don't know if I have the capacity to actually deal with that right now, like, because I'm already struggling day to day, like just looking after Duke. I'm like, I don't want to open a can of worms of emotions on top of that and then feel worse.
That's really hard.
I'm suffering at the moment with I can't remember if it's postnatal or postpartum depression. We've only realised recently in the last few weeks, I would say.
And how has that sort of come about? Like, how have you sort of come to that conclusion? How's it manifested?
I think I was just waking up every day and I realised that I'm not happy. My outlook on life was very negative. I realised the anxiety I'm experiencing every day, the fact that I can't eat, I can't think about anything other than Sam's health, my health, Duke's health, whether Duke's going to die or not. Like, I realised that those aren't normal thoughts, to be feeling every day. And I think it was really just talking to Sam and opening up about it that made me realise how bad it actually is. Because I think part of me was protecting myself. I was putting a bit of a barrier up.
So do you feel like you've been hiding that from other people?
Yes. We had a weird conversation the other day because Sam was like, you appear happy when we're out with people. Like, do you just put up a front? And I said, it's not. It's a really hard thing to describe because I can enjoy moments, but it's my overall feeling. I might come home and I just feel exhausted. Like, I don't want to get out of bed in the morning. My attitude on life is bad. And it's a weird thing because it's not a front with people.
You're not faking it.
I'm not faking it. I am experiencing happy moments, but overall I don't feel happy and I don't see how life kind of improves, or like I wonder why I feel like this when this is everything I've kind of wished for,
Did it happen pretty much straight after birth?
This is the weird thing. No, it didn't. So we went through a difficult period because we were both so sleep deprived. Yeah. And like now people are like, how are you? And Sam's like, oh, we're so much better. We're out of that end. And I think that's what triggered me to realise something's wrong, because I was thinking, I'm struggling way more now than I was then. It's only got worse. And then like my brain starts to panic because I'm thought, aren't I supposed to be feeling better by now? But I'm actually getting worse. I think it was roughly the 4-month period.
Really?
4 months after, I just went really, really downhill mentally.
And then there's something that kicked off the sort of chain of thoughts in our head was Alice started the contraceptive pill again. Mm-hmm. And we think that was probably your peak of...
Yeah, that spiraled
which
me.
is obviously hormone
the influx of hormones,
yeah.
So I said to Alice straight away, come off the contraceptive pill. You need, let nature take its course. Let's hopefully get your hormones to stabilise. And we thought... hopefully that would be... I mean, I always surrender. I know nothing. I can't relate, But
like you said, you're a mathematical person. You're a pragmatic, so you're trying to find the solutions.
Yeah.
And that's very difficult when it's something like postnatal depression.
Yeah.
Right? But you are, as a partner, you're trying to fix, which is admirable and amazing that you're coming at it. You're actually seeing Alice where she is and coming with something rather than just going deal with it. Yeah. And you're taking it seriously, which is incredible. How did that, coming off the pill, did that change anything?
I expected to feel better straight away, and with time, like, we realised I still feel bad. If anything, I'm starting to feel even worse again. Yeah. Nothing about what I'm experiencing is about Duke, not wanting Duke, feeling overwhelmed by him, because he is literally the best thing in my life. I look at him with so much love. I love doing everything with him. It's more like I'll look into the future and I don't see like me in the picture. I see Duke with Sam and I don't see like where I slot into it, or I have so much anxiety that I'm not being a good enough wife or like being a good enough mum, and that everything I do is wrong, or the tiniest things, like I keep making these mistakes, and it's reaffirming in my head that I'm like not normal anymore, or I'm not good enough, or like that my brain doesn't function the way it did before. And it's just I feel like I've almost lost my identity a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, you make me emotional when you say it. But the idea that those thoughts go through your head, they honestly, like, brings tears to my eyes.
It's a weird time because I've never felt so supported, like by Sam, for example, but also so isolated, because I can't explain what really goes through my head and like feeling like this. And people talk about it before you give birth. They're like, oh, postnatal depression's a thing. And I remember my mum telling me what some of the warning signs are, and I brushed it off because I'm like, oh, I'll be fine.
Yeah.
And when it
was,
hits you, it's so strong, and I can't describe what I'm going through. And then when I try and talk to people about it, it's like, I'm 24. I don't have any friends really that have babies. People can't relate. Sam can't relate. He's not been through this before, and I feel so alone. I then want to shut down and not talk about it because, like, obviously he wants a solution, but then what are the solutions? Change something in your routine. The thought of changing anything in my routine gives me so much anxiety because I already focus on just trying to get through a day, and adding something in the mix of that is like too anxiety inducing.
So the way that that sort of thing feeds as well, it feeds in you, on you keeping it all to yourself. It feeds on, you saying that it kind of feeds you on things that you would be ashamed to say, right? Things like they'd be better off without me. I'm not a good mum. Like those thoughts that come, which are absolutely down to postnatal depression. Not that they are thoughts of you. When you're not in that irrational mindset, you can't rationalise when those thoughts come, right? They're just there.
They're completely irrational.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is how postnatal depression presents itself as fact, right? It's factual.
Like, I would wake up, this is so strange, like, it was less about Duke, but, like, for example, I would think, oh my God, Sam's going to divorce me today. And then I would have this like, feeding anxiety all day, like, panicking. And I'm like, has he ever done anything that makes me feel that? Like, where is it? What is the rational basis of that thought? And there is nothing. But I'm living life, like, every day with one thought or another that's irrational. Like, that's an extreme example. But this is what I mean by lack of sort of identity, because I don't trust my own judgment on things. Like, I will have an emotional reaction to something, and then it's like a battle in my mind because I'm like, is that a valid response, or am I being dramatic? Like, do I have grounds to feel like this? And, like, trying to decipher what's rational and what's not is really confusing for me right now.
When something changes and shifts, does it feel really overwhelming?
Really, really, really overwhelming. Really overwhelming. And then the energy that I feel like is being consumed day to day with these small things that aren't even like physical is so draining. And it's manifesting physically for me.
Is it?
Like not being able to eat, not really being able to sleep, being so drained and tired from everything, I think, mentally, feeling like I'm not really showing up for Duke enough, even though I am. I'm doing everything that I need to do, but in my head, it's like it's not enough.
And anyone else telling you that you're doing enough is just
it goes straight over my head. Doesn't help.
So what have you done in the last few weeks now that you kind of have gone, right, this is something that needs to be addressed? How have you gone about that? Because
I felt so isolated, I thought there's nothing to be done.
And that's, again, we feel like it's the only one, right? Yeah. We're the only one to ever experience that.
But it's not true.
Yeah.
And Sam drilled that into my head. He was like, there are millions of women in the world that feel how you feel, and there are things put in place to help people like you. So the first thing that I did was make a GP appointment.
With a lot of encouragement.
Yeah. Right. That's a lot of encouragement from Sam.
And again, this is where I give my praise to reality TV, because producers are like our therapists. We speak to them about what's going on in our life, and I say to them, this is what's happening with Alice. It's not my place to share this information, but I want you to be aware, and if she's ready to come forward, and then it starts to encourage that conversation, and then there's other people saying, yes, I've experienced this, or yes, this is the protocol, and it slowly, through all of these things, even today, I believe, speaking to you here and having this reassurance, I believe it helps. And this is, I've found entering into this career with reality TV and whatever we do, I found it really therapeutic. And I can only hope that Alice is also going to help from that.
And I know that you don't feel like you're not healed, you're still in it. But the stats around maternal mental health are shocking, right? They are awful. And having someone like you on a show that people are watching, they're absorbing, they're invested in your story, saying that you feel the way you do, going to a doctor, Alice, you will actually save lives by doing that.
No.
And that is absolutely like that it's a gift. You're giving people a gift by being able to talk about it so freely.
It's so strange because at first I didn't really want to talk about this because I don't think I could understand it myself. And I thought, how on earth can I express it to anyone when I don't even understand what's going on in my own head?
And it's brave to do it while you're actually going through it rather than in hindsight.
On our last series of Made in Chelsea, Sam and I were quite open and vulnerable with like our struggles in our relationship, in, you know, being new parents, because I feel like everyone's like, this is the most amazing time of your life. And if you don't go, yes, 100% it is, people are a bit like taken aback by that. But the reality is, behind closed doors, it's not that smooth sailing.
I have always said the first three weeks, it is funny hearing you say the word torture. I felt like the first 3 weeks were torture.
Yeah.
And that's why I always used to sell the podcast in the early days, because my kids were still really, really young.
Yeah.
Whereas now they're a bit older. And I literally used to think like, oh my God, what have we done?
Yeah.
And that's not because I don't love my kids. I love my kids. How blessed we are to have kids. You know, my first ever pregnancy and a miscarriage, I was so blessed to have my eldest. But still, that same point, nothing. I would never do anything to change it. But fuck me, what have we done?
Yeah. Oh, it was hard. And we were so open and vulnerable about that. I think the response, like I had specifically, I've had probably like 500 messages in my DM saying, thank you for being honest and vulnerable, that things are not that easy.
It's being authentic because, yes, it was the absolute most euphoric, best moment of our lives. There was, hands down, there have been those moments, but you're allowed to not just feel that one feeling,
it's a
right?
little bit more nuanced than that.
Yeah.
And so I think, you know, we could have easily just let Made in Chelsea in on that euphoric, beautiful, you know, Made in Chelsea style, beautiful lit situation scene. But we want to be authentic. We want to talk about everything we're going through, the ups, the downs.
So how are you feeling now?
To be honest,
you hate that question.
Yeah, I don't know how to answer the question, because I'm like, in theory, fine.
Yeah.
I do feel fine, and I'm so happy with every single area of my life. Like, I've just started going back to work. Like, everything is amazing. Our relationship is fantastic. Duke is growing up amazingly. Like, watching his developments are fantastic. But I can't shift the baseline feeling that I have of feeling like pure shite.
Yeah. And that's depression.
To put it politely. Like, yeah. And for a while I was worried, where does this go? Will this ever change? I feel stuck. I feel like it's going to be like this forever. But I think because we've had such honest conversations in the last week, and I feel so supported by Sam, I know that it will end.
It hits home for me quite a lot with my dad, and you know, the fact that he committed suicide. It was a real, I don't know that anything could have been done, but I know not enough was done with my dad, because of so much more in-depth stuff with my dad. But I just know in my heart, not enough was done for my dad. And I don't know if anything could have ever been enough for him. And I think that was a real, you know, something I've got to get through. I'm still trying to get through today. But my view is, I don't want to ever feel like that again. I don't want to ever feel like, did I do enough? So I think that's why I just want to constantly, you know, and it's not without its challenges, but give you support, tell you, you know, let's speak about it, tell you what you're feeling is okay. And just trying to work out how we move forward. And my only experience is myself. You know, when I found out that I needed a liver transplant, it was a really, really challenging time for me. I've never suffered that much with my own mental health. But doing the documentary, speaking about everything I was going through, and that, all I can say is that helped me.
It helps you process. It helps you to not feel alone, I think, you know.
So you can say it to me, now say it to yourself.
Yeah. But talking, I think, has helped me. It really has. It just feels bad in the moment for me. But I think what Sam actually does that helps me is, well, actually, it's all
Validates.
It's all because we spoke about it. Actually, it's all, the actions have changed because we've spoken about it. But the way what I'm going through will manifest is in I will be very flat in conversations, or I'll be very reactive to things. And at first, Sam didn't understand that. And Sam will react to my
your reaction. Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And he'll not get it. Or like, I'm being super forgetful. And he goes, how can you not remember where the keys are? And it's through talking where I'm like, I'm already driving myself insane over these things, but there is no logical part of me that can explain why. But I just can't remember things. My brain isn't working. I tell him how I'm feeling, and now I might spill water or something. And then I'm like, oh my God, like, I'm so stupid. Why have I done this? And he goes, Alice, it's a glass of water. It's okay. It's not the end of the world. And he will help bring me back to a rational mindset before it goes too far. Or he'll remind me, you know, that things will pass. He keeps me calm. He keeps me grounded. He makes me feel understood and like supported now.
This too shall pass. My favourite saying.
I think it's so
Everyone's
important.
favourite saying.
I think it's every parent's favourite
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
It is key, and because it's so true.
Yeah.
And everyone knows the saying, "This too shall pass."
But I feel
Because
like
it
it's
will.
so
Time
important
is
that
a
like
great healer.
partners need to understand this more and like be a bit more understanding of what, you know, women are going through. Because I think if you weren't understanding, if we hadn't had these conversations and you didn't listen, where would we be? We'd probably be butting heads because you emotionally don't have a clue what I'm going through.
100%.
It's only because you want to understand, you're trying to understand, and you're listening to what I've told you.
And that's not without me failing sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, reacting sometimes, not understanding, but. It's, you know, we just have to overcome that. So
It's in the repair then, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, we none of us are perfect with our reactions. So it's being able to kind of go, hands up, I didn't react well.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. You know, it's all in the repair.
Yeah, 100%. And I think we've always had this in our relationship since we first started dating, was, you know, it was just speaking openly, and it's just about, you know, communicating. And I think it's been our one thing to each other is always communicate. And, you know, let's say there is a heated moment, we just manage to always end up communicating, you know, whether an hour's passed or so whatever, you know.
Because some people like talking about things straight away. I'm like, give me a bit of time.
I'm
I've
not
got to
that person.
let it kind of go down. The bubbles have got to rest.
I would want to talk about it straight away.
no.
You wouldn't be in a
Sam.
rational
But
mindset.
I'm not in a rational
No.
mindset
that's
to talk
true.
straight away. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
You want to, and he wants to solve things quickly, whereas I need time to process what I'm going through.
Yeah.
When I need to decipher my emotions, I need to try and see it from someone else's standpoint, and I really do need some time to do that and not be reactive. But I think we've got it quite good. Trial and error.
Guys, a
I
lot
think
of
we're there.
stuff has happened to you over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
So
Hasn't it?
much, good and bad.
I mean, it's a roller coaster.
Yeah.
That's for sure. I mean, I think I said this in the documentary. My therapist said there's enough to write a novel in the last 2 years alone.
Your therapist is like, well, he's going to keep coming back. There's
Yeah,
just so much going on.
I feel like we say this a lot as well, but Sam did tell me, he was like, life will never be boring with me.
I delivered on that promise, didn't
And I don't like boring, so this is great, good
Yeah.
and bad.
I meant when I said not boring, I meant like let's go traveling and, you know, let's buy a house and, you know, let's not health.
Well, let's like, can you remember when you found out that you were pregnant?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It will happen quite
Well,
quickly.
it
Like,
happened quickly.
was there a point where you were both like, right, we're ready?
No.
Okay.
Our kids hadn't even been discussed yet. We'd only been engaged for like 3 months or
Yeah.
something.
So what made you kind of go, oh, actually, I should probably take a test?
I think I'd missed a period, but I have polycystic ovaries, so my periods are random
Same.
anyway.
Yeah.
I think it was because of a friend I had that had been pregnant before. She said her sense of smell was the thing. And I
And then
like,
your boobs.
I was having all of these emotional changes. We had a housemate at the time, and I remember crying like 4 times in 1 week. And I went, why do I feel like this? My sense of smell went when the fridge was opened, and then my boobs were really tender. And I was like, maybe I should take a test, because I'd been on a shoot, because I do modelling. And they were like, when would you have kids? And I started thinking about it. I was like, I don't know. I was like, God, I need to go home and do a test. I did a test. I was absolutely shocked because I thought I would know. And I had no clue.
So do you known that she was doing a test at this point, Sam? No.
No.
No, not a clue. I mean, we'd only just got engaged. I mean, I think it was shock. We were shocked because
Yeah.
Talk to
we
me
were
in that
planning
moment,
it.
Alice, like that moment of having that positive pregnancy test. What was your instant reaction?
I saw 2
Poor
lines.
Duke, future Duke listening to this.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
it
it's
was
It was,
so
oh
bad.
shit.
I saw 2 lines and I thought, wait, what the hell does 2 lines mean? So I'm like scrambling to read the package, and I'm like, and it took me like 5 minutes to process what 2 lines actually meant. And I just opened it. I feel really bad saying this now, but I opened the door and I turned to Sam and I went, we have a problem. Because our plan was obviously get married. We wanted to move to America. This is before we knew Sam needed like a liver transplant. Like the plan was move to America for my career, you know, and I'm like, everything is blowing up in my mind in this moment. I'm like, we have a problem. I start crying and I just get into the shower. And Sam's so
Were you
chill.
thrusting along to my Justin Bieber at this point? Or-
That
Really
was a
sobbing
different
to
time.
a sad song. And Sam comes in, he's like, why are you sad? I was like, I don't know. I'm like, I'm not sad. I'm just overwhelmed because your mind springs to what life was supposed to be versus what life now could be. And I think once we had sat there and processed it, it was amazing and we were both super excited. But he actually went straight back to work calls after I told him. That was not the reaction I expected.
For me, it was just, again, support Alice because I knew we were going to have children at some point, and whenever that was going to be was when it was going to be. So
I love this answer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, of course.
He was so fine. He
I
was
was like, if you want children now, we can have children now. You know, there's that's it. Like, if for some reason you don't want to do it now, you know, then we won't do it now. I mean,
we talk
feel
about
really horrible
divine
saying-
timing, though, and like
Yeah.
I think we very quickly came to the realization that everything happens for a reason. No one is ever ready. My dad told me that. He was like, no one's ever ready. Just because you don't feel ready doesn't mean you aren't ready. You know, everything happens at the right time.
What's interesting, we actually did go to our parents for support.
How were those conversations?
Because obviously we said, because I think we wanted to gauge their reactions. We were scared of, oh my God, these idiots kind of thing. And I mean, we were most surprised by Alice's dad, you know, obviously. And he was just so supportive. And all our parents, I mean, we knew our
so
mums were going,
happy.
you know, our mums were going to be supportive. We did know that. But I was waiting for the, oh shit, or
But
oh, are you
have you
sure?
thought about this,
or
or-
but. We
Yeah.
were waiting for all of those things to come from any of the parents, and then especially Alice's dad. And all 3 of them went,
Fantastic.
oh, but only if you want to. Like, oh, this is fantastic. And then your dad couldn't control himself.
Yeah, he was
And
over the moon.
I think we both knew we wanted children. We were just scared. And that's
Yeah.
why we didn't clear cut. Yeah.
And he's so perfect. Like, I wish he was here so you could see his face.
Oh,
He's
I
so
think
cute.
He's so cute, smiling.
He's,
so
he's,
delicious.
he's currently being circled round the studio with my mum, who's a massive fan of yours, by
Oh,
the
say
way. She
hello
absolutely
after.
loves you. When I told her we were doing this podcast, she went, oh my God, I listen to her podcast all the time. She's my favourite. I love Giovanna Fletcher.
Oh, she could have come on.
Bless
We've
her.
never had 3 guests in one.
Oh, could you
This has been
imagine?
amazing.
Yeah.
That's very, very sweet. So then moving into the pregnancy, how was the rest of the pregnancy?
I have to say, my
you had the
pregnancy
worst
was
pregnancy
not
ever.
good.
I feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
You know, like you see these mums. I mean, and I'm sure it's a polished mum look from the outside, but they're like all over social media,
They're
happy
glowing,
bump, glowing.
Like,
Alice, I've not seen a single picture of you not looking glowing.
oh my gosh, I
She
was
was being
in
sick.
bed every day being sick.
She
Even
was pale.
Yeah.
She was. Yeah.
the last
You
trimester.
speak about your pregnancy. Yeah, me telling you everyone about your pregnancy. Sorry.
No, Sam had a phantom pregnancy actually.
Oh yeah, I got
So
sick
I
as
was
well.
lying there and I was like, I can't, I'm honestly so ill. I can't eat, but I need to eat. I can't get up. I can't get water. I need someone to make me food. And he's lying on the sofa with me going, oh yeah, I feel sick too. I need a nap as well. Like, and yeah, just going through
We
everything
do
I was
this.
going through.
I think.
Was it legit or were you taking the piss?
No.
It seemed legit.
No, I swear to God, we have this thing that whatever no, this sounds so. Oh, we're gonna get. I'd actually get destroyed for this online.
Do you go through everything to get? Do you feel her
No,
cycle,
no.
Sam?
No, I'm not saying that. No, but
I feel that's where you were going,
No,
Sam.
I'm not going there. I'm not going there. I promise. But we do. No, I'm
Maybe
not,
you're
I'm
just
not.
so empathic that you
I'm
felt my
empathic.
pain.
There we go.
Sure.
There we go.
Yeah, that's
We'll
what I was
go
going
that
for,
line.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, my pregnancy was not good, and I went through probably 5 different tablets until I finally found one that kind of helped the sickness. But
Right.
even in my
Even
last
didn't.
trimester, like we would
The
barely
whole way through
the
then?
whole way through. We would
The whole way
barely go
through,
out,
yeah.
and we had one event. It was a charity event for
Forgot
Sam's
to take
friends.
your tablet, didn't you?
No, I took my tablet.
Oh, you took the tablet when you were sick all over my car?
Yeah, but like basically,
Your
if I'm out
pregnancy,
for
his
more
car.
than if I'm out for longer than an hour at that point, it would
It's
just be too
done.
much, and I would start to feel really
Right.
unwell. And I was like, we need to go. We need
Yeah,
to
we
go
couldn't.
now.
We couldn't go out for more than an hour.
Yeah.
I forgot about that. So any time we went out or you got in a car, again, so you were just you didn't feel, but you also had other problems. You were admitted into hospital as
Oh
well.
yeah, they thought I was having a miscarriage, but I wasn't. Thank gosh, I just had a bad urine infection, and I had
Right.
like fluid in
Yeah.
my kidneys.
They gave
So
her
I
a
was
catheter
admitted,
as well.
yeah.
Yeah.
What point in the pregnancy was that?
My memory. When
I
was
think
that
that was
second
around
trimester, I think.
20.
20. I was
Mid-
on the border, so I was like 20 weeks or something.
Right.
Because I think if I'd been 21, I couldn't have gone in A&E.
I was meant to go on a 100-kilometer walk, and instead we
You
were
wouldn't have
in.
made it anyway,
No, I
I'm
wouldn't have
sorry.
made it. I would have collapsed. I don't know why I thought I could have done a 100-kilometer walk.
In one day or across?
It was for a charity thing, and my friends all did it, and they all basically nearly died, and I think it would have been the thing that tipped me over the edge.
Look, I head up Treks for Copperfield, and if either of you ever want to come along and do a little bit of trekking, we're quite slow in our pacing, and we're brilliant. It's all about the vibes. It's all about getting
Love
anywhere
that.
fast.
I've actually been advised that I'm not. Not that I was ever going to do the London Marathon. Okay, we're way off subject here, but my mum is amazing, like really into her CrossFit, very, very fit, and ended up, she did the London Marathon once, did it in 4 hours and 6 minutes or something, and she's re-entered again since I've gone on the transplant list,
Yeah.
the waiting list, so she's re-entered again. She sort of turned around, but she makes everyone else now have to do it. So the first person she tried to convince was me, and luckily the doctors said, no, Sam's actually not allowed to do a marathon. He's awaiting an organ. He's not allowed to do a London Marathon
Oh
of
no,
26
when the
miles.
focus turned to me, I nearly had a heart attack because I'm so unfit. I'm probably the most unfit 24-year-old.
But she gets my mum gets really disappointed. If she was here, she'd try and convince you to do the London Marathon with her.
Gosh.
Yeah.
I feel
Thank
like
God
it-
she's not here now.
I'd be like, yes, anything you want.
Honestly,
yes.
she's got a really good convincing nature
Yeah.
as well. She's like, but we'll do it, we'll do this, I'll train with you and everything.
Is she one of those people that is literally telling you what you're doing before you've actually said yes?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then when you say break it to her, you can just see the letdown. She doesn't hide her emotions well.
Yeah.
So you just see the letdown in her
I felt so bad, but I'm like, I tried for 3 months to even get to 5K and I couldn't do that. And I was lying on the park floor, hyperventilating. So I'm like, I wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, it
And
doesn't
she
sound
was
like
like,
it's for
I think you can. I was like, I can't, yeah.
You were saying upstairs about you had initially wanted to have a water birth.
Yes.
Talk to me about it. So when you actually finally start leaning into the pregnancy,
I'm actually going to take the mickey out of her here because she's got the worst pain threshold ever.
Are you
so the
sorry?
idea...
Sorry, says you. Anyway, yeah,
she's not
water
supposed to
birth.
baby out of a vagina, all right? I don't think
Literally.
it's something that you can have an opinion on,
Oh,
Sam.
yeah. No.
I went to my antenatal classes, and obviously they cover every topic when it comes to birth. And I was like listening so intently when they were talking about water birth. When it came to C-sections, I was like, oh, I'm never having a C-section, so I'm not going to even tune in for this part.
Yeah.
And I was so sure up until 2 weeks before. Not necessarily because I wanted to have an unmedicated birth. I genuinely just felt like being on a birth centre, not in that hospital environment. It's a bit more relaxed, in water, because I am a water baby. I love water so much. I thought that's going to be my most relaxed state.
Sometimes we're just drawn to something as well.
Yeah. And I thought if I could have an epidural and be in the water, great, I would do that. But no, yeah. And then 2 weeks before, I don't know what started to change it in my head. I think it was because I was having really bad pelvic pains to the point I was like, this is like... It was Braxton Hicks, but it wasn't because it was so painful. And I was like, if this is anywhere near what labour feels like, I can't do it. I absolutely can't do it. And then I kept being taken into hospital, and I think they were a bit worried that I might get preeclampsia.
Right.
Spoke to one of the doctors, and he was like, we won't allow you to go over your due date.
Right.
So he was like, if you want to, book in a C-section close to your due date, and then if you go into labour beforehand, try that way, try to do it vaginally if that's what you want.
Yeah.
And in my mind, I'm like, yep, I'll leave it to fate. That's exactly what I'll do. Great. The night before my C-section was scheduled, we were walking around Harrods with Sam's aunt, and I was like, something feels weird. I
Why
couldn't
did
walk.
most stories about our health start with, we were walking around Harrods?
Yeah. Pretty much all of them, yeah.
But I the maiden Chelsea, Lauren.
But I couldn't, I was taking steps. I'm like, that's a lot of pressure. I'm feeling a lot of pressure. And Sam's aunt was like, do you want to come out for dinner? And normally I would never say no to her because she's quite, you don't want to say no to Lisa.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, no, sorry. I said, I like need to go home. I need to like rest. I need to relax. And it was only the next day that I realised, wow, I am in labour.
Well, we were walking round and Lisa made the joke. She went, what if you're going into birth now? What if you're going into labour now?
She was like, sit on the floor in Chanel. Hopefully they'll give you a free bag.
I love that that's where her mind went. She was like, yeah, if you're going to give birth in Chanel. They'll give you a free bag, surely.
And I woke up the next day and we were timing my contractions. And I'm like, wow, they're like 6 minutes apart or something. So by the time we got in, I told them, I was like, I think I might be in labour. And they went, what do you want to do? Do you want to try? And I think I'd psyched myself up so much at that point for having a C-section. I was like, I've only just wrapped my head around that this is what I'm doing. I can't change it all now. So I didn't.
You actually need to plan. You need to follow. You're the sort of person that needs to follow a plan.
I'm extremely last minute, but once there is a plan in my head, we have to do it that way.
Also, because I guess so much of the health stuff was happening around the same time for Sam. Like, was there a sense of trying to take some control in one of the situations at least?
Literally.
I think that was exactly it. The doctor kind of turned around to us and went, there is a certain amount of control. We can control the, cesarean, the C-section. When it comes to, vaginal birth, there's a lot we can't control. And I can't tell you with any certainty that these things won't happen. And obviously Alice was a higher risk because of certain conditions that Alice has.
I have bladder problems as well. And he was very much like,
Well, I can't guarantee that you're not going to basically be incontinent within
I'm like 24. That is too young to be incontinent for the rest of my life. I can't.
Yeah,
I really can't.
So I think it was exactly what you're saying. It was taking control for Alice. And it was, I think
there had been a
can we relax a little bit?
There had been a big thing with Sam's transplant of we have absolutely no idea when that's going to be.
Yeah.
And that is so scary. The thought of like not knowing, in a weird way, not knowing when Duke was going to come was scary as well. And it was just strange. It happened that I went into labour around the same time. But that just having that control almost.
Also, even though you're told at the time it could be 18 months to 2 years, right? When that's still quite recent news, you don't think about the 18 months to 2 years. You think about it's going to happen now.
Yeah. And now we're realising it's such a strange journey because there's obviously this very complicated algorithm which takes a lot of different factors in, which calculates who's a priority. But I think what it really comes down to is how sick you are. They transplant the sickest first, unless they're too sick. And I think that's literally it. And so with me, I'm not sick and I've just got to, essentially wait on this list, which could be up to 2 or 3 years. And we don't think I will get sick at all, at the current trajectory.
I mean, I don't know. After the first time you got seriously sick, I'm like, that could happen at the drop of a hat at any time.
Did it happen at the drop of the hat the first time then?
I mean, it seemed like flu. He had like a flu-like cold for a week and all of a sudden, he's nearly on death's doorstep.
But that was an infection. So I think it's really complicated. My liver is not working, but it's working enough that my day-to-day life, my disease is very complicated. Essentially, there is no blood going through my liver, but it's found all different paths into my liver and is still working. I don't really understand
how long can it work?
How
like
long
that?
does
That's
it?
the
But it's
problem.
been working like that for the last 18 years or 25 years or since. But it's just been getting worse and worse and worse. But then they also comment on the ultrasounds that there's no change. So it's very, very complicated. The actual journey we're going down at the moment is my brother might end up being a live donor.
Right.
And that he's pretty much passed nearly all of his tests.
It's something that you've really been conflicted about as well, right? That idea of someone that you love doing it.
Yeah, I mean, I was completely against it at first, and then after a lot of talking and a lot of understanding that the risk to a live donor are so minimal because of the amount of testing they go through, then my head started to come around to it. Because obviously the fear I have is I'm not going to put any of my family in jeopardy, and I would never do that. And it was only, they said, well, you're not. You know, the risk is so minimal because we do all the testing beforehand to make sure there's literally no risk to them. But at the same time, and this is, you know, we still haven't confirmed this route. We still haven't outright accepted him yet, and he's still not passed all the tests. There's still 1 in 250 chance that something could go wrong. And that's they give him the breakdown. They give him that mathematical breakdown of these are the odds.
Going back to birth.
Yeah.
You went down the C-section route. How was that?
The actual day was flawless.
Once you made that decision, did you feel calmer? Were you just like, okay,
I do
doing
so.
this?
It's so clinical, isn't it?
I get scared, you know, about being in hospitals. I don't like needles. I don't like hospital environments in general. And I was quite concerned about having an epidural, like the idea of that needle like in my back. But then when I got to hospital, because I was in labour, they gave me some pain meds, which probably helped me.
I was giving all the big chat, which was, oh, I'm going to be this side of the curtain and I want to look and I want to film. And Paul Brunson, you know, hyped me up for this. Like, he told me about...
He could talk me into doing anything. I'd be like, yes,
literally,
Paul.
he was like, you've got to see it. Like, I was filming it. I didn't listen to the doctors. Doctors were telling me off, this and that. I got into the operating room and it was like, there was 20 people and they operate in such unison, and they went, sit down, don't move, don't touch anything. I went, okay, I'll sit down. And I was like, I was told, I was put in my place, and I did not move
You
from that
seem
seat.
quite, I mean, you were shaking when you walked in.
Yeah,
as well.
and then they take Alice away. They literally strip her down, put things up her bum, things in here.
I didn't know this till after.
Yeah,
They
they
put
put
paracetamol.
literally. I'm just watching like 20 people are surrounding her, putting things up her bum, and I'm like, oh, this is graphic.
I'm none the wiser, and I think I'd rather it that way. To be
And
fair.
then, oh my god, they started cleaning everything, and
I felt nothing.
Yeah,
I felt absolutely nothing.
because obviously once they put the epidural in, I mean, luckily I didn't get to get a full frontal show of this, but they put a curtain up. I could tell they were cleaning.
I would say the experience was amazing, but it happened so fast. I couldn't actually process in time, like, to be scared. I thought I would be scared, but
you
it was
were
going
shaking
so fast.
a lot going into the theatre.
Massively.
Yeah.
I was like this, and I think they said it was because of
You
the
were
medicine,
trembling.
actually.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, Sam thought I was dying.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I wasn't.
So obviously I got, I mean, talking about Alice's experience is all about how Sam felt during Alice's experience.
Yeah, I think it's because you have health anxiety.
Yeah, I really did. So I was sat there and Alice is trembling and she was scaring me because she was trembling so much. So all I was doing was holding on to Alice's
You
hand.
were great. Like,
Trying to
I
like
thought it
give
was
her
great.
some confidence and support and everything is going to be good. I'm here with you. And I think because you're so unprepared, you don't know what it's like. She's awake and they're cutting her open and they're pulling something out. And I think, I mean, get that in your head, you know, they're cutting you open and pulling something out of you while you're awake. That's like horror movie stuff, right? When you really think about the detail of it. Anyway, so I think we were very nervous, very taken back by everything. And then there's an anaesthetist who's like the guy you talk to, right? Because obviously the surgeons are all doing their thing down that end. But then all I'm watching him do is keep putting meds and all the vitals spiking and her heart rate going up and this, doing that, and her blood oxygen. And then she's like fiddling with this and fiddling with that. And I'm thinking, oh my God, why is her heart rate going up? Why is this happening? Why is that happening? And like I keep on seeing putting loads of drugs into Alice. And I'm thinking, she's going to die. I'm going to be left to raise Duke all on my own. She's going to... I don't know what I'm going to do. I was
He's
having the
smiling
intrusive...
at me, though.
I thought
like,
I can't show her that I'm feeling all of this. I was absolutely having the obviously intrusive thoughts because he said to me afterwards, he went, well, yeah, she's undergoing surgery. You think her body is going through a lot. Obviously, all of this is going to happen. That's my job as the anaesthetist to keep her at a nice stabilised level. You know, that's my job. What, you think I just sit here and do nothing? I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. It was like, that went perfectly. I was like, Right. Okay. So
If
I
only
sat.
he could have said that to you during.
Yeah. I sat there for like however long it was, panicking
4
for
minutes.
no reason.
It was
Do you reckon
4
it was 4 minutes?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I would have said 20 to 30 minutes.
But from what you can see, you can't see any surgery, can you? Or can
No,
you?
I mean they lowered the curtain.
This is the bit I was surprised by. When they say, "Are you ready to meet your baby?" I expect that the baby is out. He wasn't. So they pull the curtain down and then they pull him out of me.
Yeah.
So I can't see much, but I can see like this
bits
is
of
graphic,
skin.
but like skin, coming back.
And like
then,
skin's gripping
Yeah.
onto him, and
And
then
I'm like-
Jabba the Hutt comes out. Well, you don't realise how obviously he's filled with liquid.
yeah.
So he's been sat in a, and then we said, oh my god, he looks so like.
What the first thing I said, this is so
You went-
bad
you went-
looking back, but I went, "Oh, he's swollen." That's the first thing I said.
And I went to Alice, you go take a bath for 9 months and see how you look. Yeah.
It wasn't actually the first look. I think
No,
it was the
cry.
first sound. Yeah, we heard a little right before
Yeah.
they dropped the curtain. And in that moment, I think we just both looked at each other and
melted.
bawled
Yeah.
out crying.
Really?
It was like,
Yeah.
this is real. This has happened. He's
can't,
here.
and I think that was the euphoric moment that we describe, was like, which we would want to do again and again. It was like that, just overwhelming. Like it was the sound of his voice and it made everything real. And it was like, oh my god, this feeling was crazy.
And you fear, everyone says, oh, you fall in love straight away. But you, of course, fear that that's not going to happen for you.
Yeah.
You worry, and I don't think it does happen for everyone. But for us both, in that moment, it was the most magical, I didn't even know I could feel love this strong.
I think it was so intense for me that I felt like I could be sick.
Really?
Yeah, literally. And I think I am an emotional person at times, but at other times, I'm always at the wrong time. My emotions are a bit all over the place.
You are very emotional.
I was very much thinking going into that, I think we both were worried, weren't we? We hadn't built this attachment
We
yet.
were quite numb. We had so much going on in life, like with Sam's health, especially in the few months leading up to this. I don't think I got to appreciate the good about having a baby because we were kind of living in a state of constant fear and anxiety, and life was quite scary, actually.
I just don't think we got to enjoy your pregnancy.
No.
Because we were constantly in and out of hospital for you, me, and you were sick, and we didn't know where I was going, so we didn't get to enjoy Alice's pregnancy at all. And then there was even a moment where I sort of said, oh, I'm worried about, obviously mothers have this connection because they've grown the baby inside their tummy, and I'm worried I don't have that connection. And then we had a conversation after that, and you went, I'm worried I don't even have that connection.
I was so numb to everything emotional at that point because we'd been on such a roller coaster. I was concerned that it wouldn't feel real. I'd be in autopilot mode.
And I think we can only say this with such confidence now because of the emotional overload that came in after when Duke was born. And, that's why we can be so forthcoming about these emotions that we were feeling, in the build up to his birth was we had no connection.
I wasn't that excited.
Also, when you've got, it's like before you get married and everyone's going, you must be so excited.
Yeah, we had the same thing because we got married in the depth of everything to do with Sam's health as well. So
Well, everything over the last 2 years has been in the depth. I mean, it's been an emotional roller coaster of ups and downs.
But I think you always feel like you have to go along with the, I'm so excited, can't wait. Whereas
sometimes
actually,
it's just easier than explaining, right?
Yeah.
There's a time and a place to go, actually, I'm really worried about the bond, and I'm really worried about this, and there's just no connection to this. What was that first little bit of time like in the hospital?
Before or after?
After.
Oh my gosh. This is so bad of me to say. I was going to say, I'm not going to lie, I was on so many pain meds. It's a bit hazy.
There's actually a great video so obviously we were so in the moment, the last thing you think about doing is filming. And if anything, you get annoyed at cameras. And my aunt comes bursting through the door, camera in hand, sticks it in Alice's face. And I'm
so glad we have that though.
And this is what I'm going to say. I was like, at the time, I was like, come on, Lisa, time and place. And then I look back on it now and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so glad she did that. That was such an amazing thing. She was so thinking ahead. She was so smart to capture that.
It's our first words to Duke.
And she
to
even
look back
asked,
on in the future.
she even was, while videoing, she didn't just stop at videoing, she was asking questions to try and draw out our feelings.
Yeah.
And we look back on that video. I mean, they used it in the documentary. It was that good.
Yeah.
I could cry watching it.
It's actually
really,
the best video ever, but it's so funny watching Alice's reaction because I can tell you are just so high on those painkillers.
Do you know what it was. I also must have had some kind of allergic reaction to one of the drugs they put into me because I was so itchy all over.
Yeah.
My throat was itchy. I couldn't swallow water. But because I was kind of not with it, I didn't tell the doctors that
really
it was that
do
bad.
need to make them aware of them because the next
Yeah.
reaction can be an anaphylactic shock. So you really need to make note of that.
I wasn't able to.
Yeah.
I did tell them I'm itchy, and they gave me
Yeah.
medicine for that, which I
Okay,
think
good.
made me drowsy.
I
That's
hope
probably what made me
records.
drowsy. But I wasn't able to express how bad the itching in my throat probably was. Yeah.
But you relieved to get out of there.
I
Yes
mean,
and no.
I
Because
think
I was in for 2 nights, so in a way I wanted to be in my home environment, but the second you leave, you don't have strong pain meds anymore. And you know, having a surgery that serious, being sliced open, I was in a lot of pain. Straight away I wanted to get up. Like the next day, lying there for that many hours, I was like, I need to get up. I said to the nurse, I was like, please let me up. I want to have a shower. I want to get moving. Something was wrong with my catheter as well. Like my wee was not coming out. And I said to her, I was like, I don't think this is right. Like I was having so much pain in my bladder. She tried to change something, didn't work, leaked all over the bed. And I said, please, like, can we just take this out? So she took it out, went to the toilet. That was fine. Had my shower. That was fine. I came out of the shower and it was like, even just that 10 minutes of doing things, I nearly passed out. I nearly threw up. I had to sit back down on the bed and like take a minute. I think I was quite scared to leave the next day because progressively the pain got so much worse.
So I don't think women are told enough about that side of having a cesarean or post-birth because, you know, you go into that thinking already of what you're going to be like as a mum as soon as they come out and what that role is. And then all of a sudden you're not able to
You're
factor in
incapacitated.
your pain, the inability to do anything.
And I would say I was up doing things quite fast. You know, we had various things to do, like photo shoots, work-related things on week 1.
Yeah.
Like Duke was on Made in Chelsea on day 7 of his life. So I was up and moving very, very fast. And subsequently, because of that, I accidentally opened my cut a couple of times because I was up moving way too fast. And to be honest, I would say I wasn't feeling okay until 5.5 weeks.
I mean, was there a point on day 7 then when you literally went, what on earth are we doing?
I was probably running on adrenaline. I think we still were. Week 3 is when it really hit.
Really?
And I was still in so much pain.
Come crashing down.
Like, and because I would wake up in the night in fits of anxiety and I would bolt upright. And obviously you don't have stomach muscles to use really. So I would sit up and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I would be sat there in so much pain. And week 1, you still have pain meds at home. Week 3, you don't have anything. And I can't believe how long it took to feel even
the
remotely
pain
better.
stayed for a long time.
Yeah. Honestly, I wouldn't say 5.5 weeks. Even to this day, I get pain.
Really?
Yeah, I
Like
find that.
nerve pain, I think.
I don't know if this is normal for women who go through C-sections, and we've discussed that you need to potentially see a doctor about it, but you still have pains. And you can, if I touch Alice's like scar, she gets all like it makes.
I get really funny about the
it's
scar.
really like so. I have to be really careful around.
There's
her scar and
numbness.
stuff.
Like he might knock me, and I'll be like, oh,
Really?
yeah.
Yeah, and we
Yeah.
don't. We there actually isn't a much. I don't know if we just didn't get. You didn't get the knowledge around whether that goes, whether that's normal, and
I
maybe
was
that follow
so
up.
rushed to make that decision to have a C-section. I probably didn't get all the information I should have beforehand.
Yeah.
Because I made that decision so last minute.
What do you think being parents has taught you so far?
It's taught me what unconditional love is. I thought I knew
Yeah.
what that was. I really didn't. I think it's taught me patience massively in my relationship. Okay,
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Look, she's fragile right now.
Yeah, that was a bad joke.
Patience,
Bad joke.
mentally, maybe not like
I test
physically.
that patience.
Patience with you.
Yeah.
It's taught me to have a lot of respect for parents out there and for my mum.
Oh, yeah, that's
Yeah.
definitely it taught me a lot about my mum, and I feel desperately sad that one day there will be a period, actually for most of Duke's life, he will go, oh, you're so annoying, or this or that. You do so much for them, and you don't realise.
Because all they've ever had is that.
Yeah.
They don't appreciate it
And,
because
you
they
know,
kind of expect it.
You feel so bad for not appreciating what your parents did more.
My boys are 12, 10 and 7, so I've got 3 boys. And I often now just go, I grew you.
Yeah. And that means, and they will go, oh, Mum, whatever. Like, shut up. Yeah, we know. We grew our tummy. I know the reaction because I'd have the same reaction.
If you could write a letter on parenthood, on being a mum, on being a dad, who would it be to and what would you say?
I know we just touched on this, but it would probably be an apology to my mum. It probably would. And like, I talk about how much closer I feel with her.
Yeah, I think mine's similar to, it would definitely be to my mum.
We end the podcast with you completing 3 sentences. The first one is being a dad means, being a mum means.
Being a mum means carrying on the circle of life, learning unconditional love. Why did you roll your eyes at me?
No, I didn't. I laughed. Sorry.
Learning what unconditional love actually is. You might think you know. I thought I knew with Sam. The love for Duke is so much
more unconditional.
Yeah,
yours not so much.
So different. So different.
Yeah. Being a dad means.
I know it sounds old-fashioned, but I genuinely believe in providing security and comfort and support. Mm-hmm. I think that's my biggest role, to support Alice, to support Duke, to make them feel safe. That's for me what fatherhood's all about.
Next sentence, since having a child,
Since having a child, I've learned what is actually important in life.
I can't copy. Since having a child, I've matured. I think that's every dad. Yeah,
I agree with that, yeah.
And finally, I'm happy when?
I am happy when Duke is asleep and I'm rested.
I'm happy when Alice and Duke are happy.
Yeah.
Aww.
Yeah.
I should have said that.
But you went first. Alice, like both of you, thank you just so much for coming on and talking so openly and honestly. And I think it's so important to note that postnatal depression is so nuanced, right? And there are going to be moments where you can talk about everything so simply, and there are moments when it just all comes crashing down and just feels so overwhelming.
Yeah.
So it's little by little. It's checking in with yourself and doing what you can to be kind.
Oh, thank you so much for having us. This has honestly been such an amazing conversation, hasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, thank you for having us.
Thank you, guys.
We feel very privileged.
Thank you. I feel privileged.